Alright guys, so I got me a new project here. This is not really sure the year. I'm thinking it's a 47, but I'm not really 100% sure. I'm hoping someone on this video can help me. But it's a 30 Massey Harris. It's got the inline 4 flathead continental motor. It does turn over. It's free. Supposedly it's been rebuilt, but I don't know that it has been. I know the head's been off because I can see the brand new shiny head gasket between the head and the top of the block, but everything else looks to me like it's been pretty much left. Unless they just done a cheap, pull the oil pan, take the rods loose, pop the pistons up, put rings, put it back, which is possible. You know, the motor has been pulled out of the tractor because the bolts are missing back here and the bolts up here are like new. Radiator is in pretty rough shape. I would like to try to get a new one if I could find one. The story on this tractor is the old fella that had it and was working on it, he had a stroke. He didn't die, he just had a stroke. And he gave it to his grandson. And you know how kids nowadays are, they just say, I don't want that ugly old thing, and give it to the next guy. But that's basically what happened to this thing. The fella I got it from was there, and I don't know exactly how it worked out, but basically it was the grandson's, and he sold it to the guy I got it from. And the guy I got it from really wasn't interested in fixing it. He was just wanting to make some money. So he made his money, and that's just how it works out. But the tractor's got 4 brand new tires on it, front and back. And what I give for the tractor, I couldn't have bought the tires for. So, you know, it was a no-brainer as far as just tires, you know. And then the tires were new. They just got a tractor hooked to them. So I got brand new tires with the tractor attached. So I ain't gonna complain about that. But it is missing some parts. It's missing the drawbar. It's missing some of the brake stuff. Clutch linkages is missing. It's missing some of the sheet metal, not much. It's missing a running board. Some of the stuff for the seat's missing. That's a seat that I bought. The other one's sitting right over there. I got to take those two and make one because I didn't know it, but they make different ones. That one wasn't the right one. But I did hook the coil up, and it does have fire. I did get to pop off a little bit, but something happened and it sucked. Either it already had it in it and it just broke it loose, but this valve was open, stuck open. And the man told me it was sitting over there with nothing on the exhaust for like a week, so I'm assuming it got rained in, and it sat there for a month in the same spot before I got it. So it probably got rained in, he put the cap on, and it probably just had moisture staying in it. And considering this manifold is kind of above, you know, any water that would run in there, it would fill that cylinder up pretty quick. Even though it's below, you know, the valve, it would still, how physics work, water would go in that valve if the rest of them are holding. But it probably filled that one cylinder full of water. It wasn't stuck again. You know, it wasn't stuck or anything, like I said before, but it made rust form. And that rust broke loose, and whenever I turned the motor over and it hit off, it, I guess, broke the rust loose, and it packed between the top of the piston and the cylinder. It was basically like dead stopping the motor. So I had to work it back and forth with this ratchet here, trying to figure out what the problem was, and I finally got that stuff out of there, and I poured some of this wax and grease remover in there, which I know wasn't the best thing to do, but it was the only loose liquid that I had on hand. Put it in there, worked it back and forth, blowing that, you know, that crust out of there, and it got it for the most part, got it out of there. So I'm not going to complain about it. I'm probably going to change the oil now because I know it's probably running to the bottom of the motor. And I did re-lubricate the cylinders with some Marvel Mystery oil, so nothing's going to be dry. They did cut the hydraulic line, and I don't know why they did that, but they cut it and ruined it. So now I'm either going to pull this pump off and put it up, or run a loop back to the tank right there. I don't know what I'm going to do just yet, just so I can run this motor. Probably just going to pull it off though, because I don't have a hard line, and it's going to have a hard line because this is the pressure side. I could run a flex hose all the way back, but I don't have any of the 3-point hook parts, and it had a homemade 3-point hook on it with the cultivator cylinder that goes right there. And, you know, I don't have any of that, so there's really no need in having a pump. But one thing I have noticed about this tractor, and this is what I need help with. It has cast iron centers with a cast iron hub, and then the rim hooks on just like it did on the Z, if you can see that. And every one of them I've looked up and seen, they don't have this. This is an odd thing. I haven't seen one that has this. And I don't know if these centers are just off of something else, or what the deal is. Has them on both sides, but I haven't seen any of them that have this kind of a wheel. And of course the front, it has Alice Chandler wheels. That's basically what that is. That's an Alice Chandler C, B, whatever other small Alice Chandlers had those. The sheet metal is pretty rough. It's pitted. I'll see that hood is too. The gas tank's pitted too, but it's not pitted on the inside. It's just pitted on the outside. The dash has got some holes eating the bottom of it. I've only got one running board, and those running boards are weird. They're not like any of the other ones I've seen. They bolt into the fender and that's it. The other ones that I've seen in the books, they have angle iron underneath of them that hook to the fender, and then the fender is adjustable in and out. These fenders are fixed, so I don't know how that works. Unless this tractor is just, I'm thinking it's older than I'm thinking it's a 47, but I don't know that for sure. I am going to have to come up with a battery tray. I do have the braces right here, but the tray itself is eat up and gone. But I pretty much got everything except for those linkages, and I've ordered those, so I do have those now. But I've just got to make all of that stuff work. I've got to come up with one to go from there to the brake. I've got the one for the other side, but I just got to make one. And I've got the clutch pivot point that runs back. I've just got to come up with that fork that hooks to the pedal over there, which I don't think will be too big of a deal. But the main thing right now is that radiator. I'm trying to find one. I cannot find one. You look up Massey Harris, all that pops up is Massey Ferguson. And it's not a Massey Ferguson, it's a Massey Harris, and they're very different. They're about the same size, but they're very different. But I think it'll be a pretty cool little project once I get started on it. But I'm not going to work on it until after I get that Z done. I got to get that hood done and those fenders back there. I get that done, then I can move on to this. Of course, I probably won't. I'll probably be messing with this thing. But as far as restoring it, that's not going to happen right now. I might eventually redo it. I don't know. I'm still thinking about how far I want to go with it. Do I want to just paint the hood, grill, and gas tank red and put it back together? Or do I want to take it down and, you know, paint the whole thing? Do I want to detail paint like I did the Z? I don't know. I'm still thinking about those things. I mean, I would like to paint it up like I did the Z. That would be awesome, but this sheet metal is just so, like that right there is eat out. All that's eat up. The hood's in good shape. It's just pitted. And then the back fenders, they're the worst, those back fenders. And you can see right there where the headlights would have bolted on. And I think this one here is the worst one. You can see the welds are broke loose up at the top, but it's eat up all the way down that, all the way down this, it's eat out. So I don't know if I can get a new fender or find some fenders somewhere. I have no idea what's available for these tractors. Figure it'll have to be used, and it's just like a Z-Moline or a Moline around here. These things are kind of unheard of. They're around, but you don't really see many of them. They're not that common. But I'm looking forward to the project. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are too. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Bye-bye.